Thank you for joining us on this 4th of October. It is Tuesday afternoon. Austin Reed coming to you from our Fresno studios inside the Mike Briggs building in the Tower District. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Austin Reed on Air. Super excited for my next guest. You have seen him a couple times here on Central Valley Talk, but he is back once again. Gene Beltran. Hello there, sir.
Nice to see you, Austin.
Nice to see you.
Nice to be back with you.
Well, it's our pleasure. Tell us, you are with the Jehovah's Witnesses of California, right? Because you serve the whole state.
Yeah, along with another gentleman, we handle the media relations slice of things with a large team in California. So what a beautiful place it is to for us to worship Jehovah and work with the public. We sure enjoy that.
Now, how long have you been with Jehovah's Witnesses?
I was raised by parents who made the decision to become Jehovah's Witnesses 10 years before my birth. So I was raised one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and then at the age of 16, I liked what I learned growing up. So at 16, I made a commitment, a dedication. I got baptized as one of Jehovah's Witnesses by choice. And since 16 years of age, I've been serving Jehovah as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I look back at that decision. It was a big one, and I made it on my own, and I've never regretted it.
What would you say, just looking at your life since you were 16, the benefits of becoming a Jehovah's Witness?
You know, that's a great question. The benefits, having the principles of Christ ingrained in my life. I think when I was a young man, decisions that I made, and I'm very glad I did, I didn't have to learn like a lot of my friends did by experimenting or trying things that hurt them. At times, I would weigh things out. Really, the biggest factor of my religious convictions is what would Jehovah God and Jesus think about this decision, large or small. So it's helped me to live a clean life that I'm proud of, a moral life, and it's helped me not to hyper-focus on my own needs, but to think broadly about other people. Because when you look at the example of Christ, he lived for others. He lived for God's kingdom. So we view being a Christian, I certainly do, that it's important that we follow the footsteps of Christ. A man of peace, share the good news with other people. So that's helped me make good decisions. And like anyone else, I've had ups and downs in life, and I feel like my faith has helped me when I've had those rough patches in life to be resilient and to be positive. So I think, is that an answer for you there?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, one of the things that we've been talking about, you know, during COVID, it was very hard for you guys because you weren't able to go door to door. You're back, giving the good word. How is it going?
It's been even better than many of us anticipated.
Really?
Among some witnesses, there's a little bit of apprehension. Yeah. When you don't do something for 2.5 years, right, you're going to be a little bit nervous. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, my personal experience, when we went back to knocking on doors, Thursday, September 1st, first door I went to in my community, go to a door, and there's 2 workmen sitting in a truck in the driveway. They were taking a break, remodeling a house, taking a morning break. We walk up, we start talking to them, and one of them just felt comfortable enough to express a personal problem he's having in his life that is preventing him from having a good relationship with God. He shared it with us. He asked what we thought about it. We turned to 2 Bible scriptures, we listened first, and then shared 2 Bible scriptures, and we watched peace come over his face. And we explained that we talked to other people with that same kind of issue. We shared our website, jw.org, with him and explained where he could find resources for that problem. And then he thanked us, and we talked for another 10, 15 minutes. Wow. And he was happy to talk to someone that he felt was willing to listen to him and give him something meaningful to work with. So that was my first door out of the gate. Wow. And it's not unlike the experiences we're getting from so many people across the valley and across California.
How were you able to manage during the 2.5 years of crazy COVID?
Sure. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses, in March of 2020, when we saw the lockdowns coming, as much as we love meeting together, and we do, we did not want to contribute to the problem when the virus was exploding. So we made a decision to shut down, not just here in the Central Valley, but across the world. And so during the 2 years plus of the pandemic, not one person in the world was infected at a Jehovah's Witness meeting because we're on virtual platforms. We're proud of that. We care about lives. How did we cope? We met on virtual platforms like Zoom, and then we shifted our ministry from door to door and our carts to letter writing and phone calls. We probably wrote tens of millions of letters collectively, if not more, during the pandemic, received scores of responses back, made phone calls, and really we had hundreds of thousands of new people join Jehovah's Witnesses in baptism during the pandemic. So we feel that that ministry was very effective, and we're keeping elements of that now, even as we go back to door.
It kind of brings an old school feel too, of just and that personal touch of a letter. You know.
In fact, there was one a good friend of mine told me a story that's like several other stories I've heard. Someone will say, "Hey, one of your people wrote me a letter, and it wasn't typed out; it was handwritten." They hadn't received a handwritten letter from anyone in years. And they said, I agreed with some of the things in it. There are a couple things I didn't agree with, but I love the fact that they wrote me a letter. And they wrote back to thank them. So at a time when not just Americans, but people around the world were in isolation, to get a personalized letter from someone you don't know, that's not trying to convert you, just trying to share some good news.
And love.
And love, exactly. How many people did that help? Opening up a personalized letter like that. So we actually saw great results from that ministry.
I bet. Yeah. Okay, so when did you guys officially get back to being out in the community and doing door knocks? Was that September 1?
September 1.
September 1. Okay, so it's been wow, just a few days ahead of 1 month.
Yeah, it's been about that time, and I'm sure there have been some, but I have not personally heard of one negative experience. I've heard a lot of people saying things that I'm experiencing. People are just glad we're back. Even if they don't believe in our beliefs, they're just glad that someone's sharing good news. And then our cart ministry started a few months before. In fact, I was talking to someone on the weekend in San Francisco, and at 4th and Market, right in the middle of the city.
Okay.
Someone came up to our carts the first week we were there in July and said, I'm not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but I'm glad you guys are back. San Francisco is hurting. This city has taken a hit.
Wow.
Man dressed really nice.
Yeah.
And he said, we've taken a hit in so many ways. To see you guys out, giving some hope, we need this. And that was one of a number of comments that I heard talk to my friend right there in the heart of San Francisco.
Well, and I think, some people may think, Jehovah's Witnesses, scary, don't talk, But then when you have these real conversations, and like you said, you guys aren't like, you have to be a Jehovah's Witness, I mean, do you notice that reaction as well?
That's the most common reaction.
Okay.
Is because people know when they come by a cart or we knock on their door, if they don't want to engage, they let us know and we politely leave.
Right.
But the scriptural basis for that is significant because we do that work because when Jesus Christ was on earth, before he ascended to heaven, Matthew chapter 28, 19, and 20, he told his followers to go out and make disciples of others. Luke chapter 10, he talked about his followers going to people's homes. Acts 20:20, the Apostle Paul, go to public places and house to house. So when we go to people's houses, it's not just an act of faith, but an act of courage too.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate cold call. But we go there because, for two reasons. We want to follow the teachings of Christ, and we care about our neighbors. So that helps, even when maybe somebody has a less than ideal reaction. But circling back to your question, it's the pandemic really took a toll on people. And people just like talking to someone who wants to listen. We probably do a lot more listening at doors
than
we do
talking. Huh.
And that's what people need.
Right. So let's talk about how this has benefited the Central Valley specifically.
Sure. the Central Valley, like so much of California, took a big hit. And the pandemic not only rocked our worlds physically, but the amount of emotional toil on people and people searching for questions. Why would we have a pandemic? To go door to door and give you an example, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we believe from the Bible prophecy, that we're living in the last days. And Jesus Christ, through the Apostle John, wrote the Revelation, where he talked about 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and one of them was pestilence. So when you help people see the pandemic in the context beyond just a disease, but this is a sign that we're living at a time that's so critical, it helps people understand, oh, this is not God punishing people, but this is a sign of what God warned us would happen. So the next step is, so how do I improve my relationship with God? What adjustments can I make, not just to be a better person, but to be a better servant of God, a better Christian?
A better neighbor.
A better neighbor, because those things all come along with that.
Right.
If you're at peace with yourself, then you're going to be at peace with your neighbor. If you're at peace with your neighbor, you can be at peace with God.
Yeah.
So it really starts internally, but the peripheral the benefits go far beyond even our own little circle in life.
Right. Okay, let's see. My final question is a new Bible study program. This is called Enjoy Life on Earth.
Enjoy Life Forever. So close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. No. It's based on the Bible's text of Psalm 22:26.
Okay.
That meek people who seek God, Jehovah, will enjoy life forever. So our interactive Bible course is designed for the 21st century. It's not a page-by-page, chapter-by-chapter discussion. There are texts in there, but there's also videos, there's worksheets, there's courses you can do within that. So it's not question and answer as much as it is reasoning on it. And the whole purpose of that program is to help someone reason on it, on their relationship with God, ways to improve their relationship, have a better understanding of their relationship with Jesus Christ, and then circling back to that scripture, Psalm 22:26, so that being meek and seeking God can mean life forever. And we believe that life forever is extended to some who go to heaven and scores who will live on the earth according to the book of Psalms.
Right. Okay, that's very cool that you guys, and you literally started this.
Yeah.
Right?
During the pandemic. In fact, we just had our monthly broadcast come out yesterday. And it was great because it talked about the effort that went into making that program.
Right.
Doing it all remotely, teams working around the world, kind of testing it out, finding what would work best for people. So if a person goes to jw.org, our website, you can see the course there. In fact, you can take it on your own if you like. But a course, it just resonates with people now. Taking a course like you take online for something else, but this course is in about 60 lessons that can help a person reason more effectively on the relationship with God and get some substantive things from the Bible in a way that doesn't overwhelm them. Because the Bible's a big book, and I love it.
Yeah.
But it could be intimidating to some.
Absolutely.
This makes the Bible as user-friendly as possible. So we're really happy about it. In fact, we're even studying that in our congregations with our congregants. User-friendly. I love that. People can learn more, of course, at jw.org. Any upcoming services that you wanted to promote, or? Well, we're excited that beginning on January 1st, we're going to be returning to our mini conventions. We call them assemblies.
Yeah.
We have a facility in Madera, for instance.
Okay.
Seats 1,500 people. So we'll be having our 2-day or our 1-day mini conventions, assemblies, and then we're excited that next summer we're returning to in-person conventions. And we look forward to having conventions down in Bakersfield at Rabobank Arena, right? The big arena down there. In Sacramento. And we're hoping at our facilities like our Assembly Hall, Madera, and other places. But in the meantime, we're working on this program to promote Enjoy Life Forever, to help our neighbors on a granular level.
Right.
House to house, door to door, workplace, school. Help them to have some spiritual comfort. I think at a time, Austin, that we'd all agree where people need it more than ever.
Yes.
Even as we're in this stage of the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, just life is not easy all the time, you know? So it's always, if you can find a higher power Right. You said it at the beginning, at 16, you found this, and look at where you are today. So
It's never let me down, my relationship with Jehovah, and it's grounded me when the waves of life have hit me. But to see times where I've been able to help other people, and my friends have helped other people make changes in their life. In fact, I was at after a service in San Jose the other day. We're out to dinner, and there's a man who's been a witness for 10 years. Good-looking guy, nice, got clean cut, but he had done time in state prison a dozen years ago. He learned about Jehovah's Witnesses in prison, changed his life, got along better with the guards, got out, studied, got baptized, and you would not, just the meekest guy. So when you see examples like that, it reinforces the faith and work that we do as Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's very satisfying. And when I go to bed at night, when I pray to Jehovah, I thank him for the life I've lived. But I hope I continue living, maybe, hopefully living forever.
Yeah. Yep. Great to see you, Gene. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Every time I interview you, I feel like I learn much more each time. So thank you for that.
What a kind thing to say. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us again. We appreciate talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gene. Gene Beltran. Go to jw.org to learn more. Thanks for joining us here on Central Valley Talk.